Hey guys, welcome to EOC Explained. Let us go over a question. Alright, we are going to go over question number 2. This is about the formation of an island and how species develop. So I'll give you guys just a second to read over the question and then we'll continue. If you guys want to pause, you can go ahead. Otherwise, let's rock and roll. So this is the basis of the question. There's an island located south of Iceland. It was formed by a volcanic eruption and first appeared in 1963. Awesome. The table below contains descriptions of changes in the population diversity on this island. So the question is this. Which of the following lists the description of the correct order of ecological succession on this island? Okay. Now, to rephrase that, the island formed, list the things that probably happened in order. So that's all you do. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to highlight things we find important because highlighting is for awesome people and you got to highlight. So this is a picture of an island about probably what it looked like when it was forming, and then when it was fully formed, this is probably what it looked like, okay? With that being said, back to our question. Well, we have it all in perspective. So again, we highlight because highlighting is for awesome people. Highlighter 1 through 3. So first let's think, okay, which of these is probably, of the description, is probably the most sophisticated thing? Because, well, the most sophisticated thing will probably happen last. So I see sea lime grass, in other words, grasses and vascular plants. I see lava and sands that have few nutrients and are barren, dwarf willow trees, and then mosses and lichen. Well, of these four things, probably the trees are the most sophisticated, right? That makes the most sense. So if anything, I'm probably going to mark the trees as last. And the answer choices that I see as marking those as last are F and J. So we're kind of down to 2 right now, but let's keep going. Let's thoroughly explain it, even if we find the answer early. Okay, so we know that, okay, the island formed by a volcanic eruption, bam, and then it happened. So at that point that it happens, it's not going to have much, if anything, on it at all. So if we're looking at the most basic thing, we'll probably look at number 2, the lava and sands and have few nutrients and are barren. Barren just means there's not a lot there. So with that being said, that tells us what's probably the first thing. So really we have our answer at J, but let's look a little further as to why, as the succession or order of things and what they probably are. We know that mosses, lichen, and plants that are adopted to dispersal by sea or blah, 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 they're very simple. They're simple and they're similar to algae. And if you've ever seen algae, it's almost like slimy, grassy stuff like that. It's not algae, it's not the same thing, but it is very simple like that, okay? So also we notice that it says dispersal by sea or land. In other words, it gets places by floating in the river, or excuse me, it's floating in the sea or getting blown around by the wind. So that's probably the first thing that actually populated the island before anything else. So that sounds like it's probably after number 2. And the only one that has after number 2 is, of course, J, right? And then, of course, we're going to highlight that again because highlighting is for awesome people. Alright, so we more or less have our order right now. We know that it starts off pretty barren. It's going to get the most basic things, which is mosses, lichen, things like that. The next is the sea lime grass, sea rockets, oyster plants, and other vascular plants. The key here is vascular plants. When you think vascular, a lot of people think muscles. Some people think veins, but I really want you to just think tubes. Vascular plants equals there's a lot of tubes, right? So having a structure like that with a lot of tubes is actually somewhat sophisticated, right? It's definitely more sophisticated than mosses and lichen, which don't really have a lot of roots. They're just kind of there, right? So that's probably number 3. And of course, as we said earlier, the most advanced thing would probably be the trees, right? So that is more or less, we've solved it. It is J, and hopefully that's what you came to, and hopefully we're going to have an awesome day.